Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you are listening to High School Hoops with our hosts, Steve Collins and Jake Steger.
All right, episode 54 of High School Hoops. We're having a really good hair day today for those of you who are listening. So just so you know, we usually have a baseball cap on when I'm filming these.
That looks good, Coach.
I know. It's like I'm having a great hair day. All 3 strands are in place. It's perfect.
Yep. That's what 30 years of coaching will do to you.
Yeah, it causes it to fall out and turn gray and all sorts of stuff. It does. All right, before we jump into episode 54, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Dr. Dish. I mean, I've basically spent a year about talking about how much I love Dr. Dish. I'm not going to marry Dr. Dish, but I do love the machine. It's great. I mean, my son's going to play for me this year because of Dr. Dish, probably. I can go on the record as a father and say his shot has probably improved enough that he's going to play a lot for me because of Dr. Dish. So go over and check them out. Mention High School Hoops, and they'll give you $300 off your next purchase. Also, what helps keep the lights on and Jake and I sane is teachhoops.com. Make sure you go over and check it out. I don't know. I could talk about that probably for 6 hours, but I won't. It's a great time to jump in right now. Every other week I'm doing either office hours or one-on-one calls. So you can always get all
Another big thing I noticed too is with Teach Hoops is you've been developing some courses that gear around a lot of big hot topics around the basketball world, which I think is awesome. So
yeah. So Coach Morgan and I just finished. He worked quick hitter. So there's one that's going to come up in the next week or so. It's just how to pick your plays. Like, how do you pick a quick hitter? How do you pick something? And it's great. The PowerPoint kind of breaks it down into little pieces. Like, are you looking for a pick? Are you looking for an ISO? Are you looking for all that? Yeah. The first 2 that we put up this year were picking offense, picking defense, which I don't think people think about. I think they just pick something. So I think those are good to kind of delve into. And then what I was talking about last week with kind of building a program, I'm doing that in kind of 3 pieces. I'm doing a preseason one, and then I'm doing a season one, things that I do during the season, and then a postseason one. And the postseason one you're going to love because I have some video of my son and I postseason meeting from last year. So he'll be done playing at that point. So I feel like I can put it up. So it's kind of seeing how I communicate with my players. So that'll be good. And he gave me permission to do that. So that was good. So those will be all coming up. All right. So go and check that out. So episode 54, what's episode 54?
All right. This is part 2 of our four-part series of preseason. We're going to be talking about preseason logistics. So it's basically everything that needs to be taken care of besides X's and O's. All right. And so that it's a very big list. And honestly, if you haven't gotten a lot of that stuff done by the time listening to this podcast, you really need to start putting in acceleration.
You're toast. Yeah.
And especially the commitment in what you do within your program. You know, if you're a young coach and you're like infusing the youth program and all these other things, which Steve and I have been in those situations where we are embedded in everything, and obviously we learn how to delegate. But when you're starting out, you're involved in everything. What are you doing? How are you handling? Are you making sure all those things are taken care of? And basically the goal of this podcast today is to kind of help you through that and make sure you have all your T's crossed.
So I think I'm a big checklist guy.
Yes.
And like I've already got all of the administrative stuff because I coach volleyball, which in Wisconsin goes in the fall where football goes, and then goes right into basketball. So I literally have all my buses planned already. Have all the night. I basically have most of my administrative stuff already done for the year. You know, I've already figured out when we're going to have our meeting, when we're going to do youth night, when we're going to do parent night or senior night, when we're going to do this. So, you know, I've already been, you can't wait until the season starts to have those kind of communications, those kind of checklists. So, and the only way, I've got one, maybe I'll pop it down in the show notes that I've used. The problem is like my list might be a little bit different than your list depending on your state and your school. You know, maybe you have to do something with your booster club, or maybe you have to do something with cleaning out your locker, setting up your lockers, or setting up your uniforms, or how do you, whatever. So I think everybody's a little different. If it's your first year or you're thinking of becoming a head coach, I would start a checklist now. And especially in your first year, there will be things that will happen that you will not expect to happen, that you forgot the extra battery for the camera, or you didn't bring an extension cord and they don't have one at the school you're at, or your player forgot their tennis shoes. What are you going to do? Every contingency, everything has to have a list and a counter list. And preseason is probably just as important as during the season. So start the list now, and it's going to grow probably over the next couple of years in your coaching career, is my opinion. I mean, how do you do it, Coach? I mean, I delegate a lot of this now, so I'm
a huge person of reflecting on things that have gotten in the way, or learning how to be more proactive and getting that stuff done early on in the summer. Just because I'm a teacher, it's a great time to get a lot of the logistic stuff out of the way.
Yes.
So I like to front load all that stuff and be done with that. I think also parents and players appreciate that when you have all those things in place before the season even starts.
Right.
Because we are all busy people. And I think you earn a lot of respect with your administrators, the other coaches that are connected to your program, and your players and parents when you have all those dates set. Everybody wants to be going to parents' night. Everybody wants to be involved in those things. But
I mean,
those dates sooner. People are busy people, you know.
Right. And the first week, I haven't figured out how to do it on Google, like share the Google Calendar, but basically I type it up and give them. So it's funny because the volleyball practice schedule is a front and back of an 8.5 by 11. When I hand them the basketball one, it's like 2.5 pages because it's a long season. But I tell them when every practice is going to be. Like every practice, here it is. I'm handing it to you. I'm sending it to you. I'm giving it to you. Like I said, I haven't figured out the Google thing to share it via Google Calendar yet. But here it is. All the things that you need. So, you know, and the players know that when they come up to me the day before practice and say, "Oh, I'm going to go visit, you know, Bo Yunk U, and we have practice," it's like, whoa. First of all, I know when the ACT is. I built practice.
I hope you're enjoying the podcast. A couple things you could do to help us out over at Coach Unplugged. First is you could go over and subscribe and like. We would really appreciate that. That really does help us a lot. Also, you could go over and check out teachhoops.com. You could make a commitment in your coaching. You could say, I'm going to become a better coach. I am going to sign up for 6 months. I'm going to sign up for a year. I'm going to join this community. Not only does it have resources, not only does it have other coaches, not only does it have a community, it has Coach Collins, who has been successful at every level. I am going to go make that commitment to become a better coach. So go over and check it out. At the time of this, there's a 14-day free trial. I'm not sure that will be the case in perpetuity, but for right now it is. So go over and check it out. All right, let's get back to the podcast.
ACT is. I built practice around the ACT.
Right.
But you telling me the day before, I can't work the schedule. I'm more than willing to work with you, but I gave you the schedule in November and you're telling me this in January. Now, things happen. People, you know, there's deaths, there's things like that. But you knew about this, like whatever, 3 weeks ago, or your dentist appointment, whatever. You should be working with that rather than me, because I gave it to you 3 months ago, kind of thing.
I think a leader is very good when they are constantly over communicating and having things planned ahead.
Yeah.
it alleviates a lot of stress later on in the season. And I just think you earn a lot of respect from people if you can do that. It just shows how much you're committed to being organized and wanting to be successful. I think being successful starts with planning and getting things done.
Right. And I think you hit the key word there was commitment. I'm committed to your guys. Like, they're my guys for 4 months or 5 months. They're my guys. I spent a lot of time with them, and I'm committing all this time. Like I've told people, I make more working at Quick Trip than I would coaching. So I'm not doing it to get rich.
Or your schedule early on. I mean, people look at it and there's something that you missed. More likely someone's going to let you know that sooner, and you can be able to adjust it. Because you know what? Sometimes communication is lost. Well, there's 10 guys in the choir on your varsity team, and they have a choir concert on Monday. You can't do a late practice.
Right.
You have to change it. But you wait till the week before. That's on you. You know what I mean? So,
right. Yeah, we've had band concert, we've had all sorts of things come up. It's like, right, but if I'm giving you, there's usually a solution, a creative solution if you know about it. But that's where that preseason list, you got to overthink people. That's what I'm telling you as a coach. This being high school hoops, a lot of high school hoops coaches are also teachers. You have to overthink this stuff. You have to overthink.
Bus times. I think bus times are huge. Arrival and dismissal times.
Yep.
Because sometimes people may think that this is a good time to leave, but as a coach, especially if it's your first year, you're not going to understand as much. So you have to do some research. All right. So if I don't know how long it takes to get to here, I got to look this on Google Maps. I got to ask questions.
Right.
Because you need to look at all those things, because that makes a huge difference. If you're going to be playing at 7 o'clock and you arrive there at 6:30, that puts you at a huge disadvantage already.
Right.
Before the even starts.
Right. And I still ask my AD, hey, I think we need to get out of 7th hour we need to get out 15 minutes early for this one. It will get us here at this time. What do you think? And then him and I will bounce it off, because and I've been doing that. I could just pump it in. It's like, ooh, I always like to talk it through with somebody. It's like, are we sure this is a good time? Are we there too early? Are we there too late? All those things, especially with where we are in the Midwest in the winter, and there's weather, and there's, we're by basically an interstate when we jump on the belt line. Are we going to hit traffic when we're leaving? Are we not going to hit traffic? So it's like, overthink people, and what we're talking about is the logistical stuff. You can't order your 20 basketballs 2 weeks beforehand,
or figure out how you're going to do tryouts the day before practice starts.
Right.
You got to communicate that with the players. It's got to be out there for parents to see. People want to know all those things in advance. You got to have all that stuff out there, because you're going to make it easier on yourself as those things arise.
Okay, so all of you that are panicking and listening to this now, it will be okay. Take 3 deep breaths and then go join teachhoops.com. There you go. I'll help you.
And then learn how to delegate.
Yes, that's actually more important. Learn how to delegate. Because
Absolutely.
Start your list. What I would do is, some people do it with Post-its. I do it on a whiteboard. I just go brain dump. I go literally into my room on a Saturday morning and I just brain dump. My assistant coach and I did that about some offensive stuff that we're thinking about doing this season and some different things. And we went in a couple of days ago and we just sat there for 30 minutes and we were just brain dumping. And probably a third of it got thrown out. It was horrible. But we're just like, we should do this. We should think about this. We should do this. And then by the time we were done and we looked at our weight, it was like, ooh, this could be really good. So you got to do the same thing administratively. Start a category, buses, start a category, uniforms, start a category, how are you doing, how are you going to do cuts or tryout, all the administrative things that you need to do before, because it's preseason, all the things that you need to do before that first day. You can't worry about having the basketballs. Is your gym available for tryouts at 6 a.m. if you're doing early morning? Whatever it is, you got to have all those ducks in a row. So over communicate and over plan is what I'm telling you.
I agree.
Okay. Anything else, Coach? Do we have a
full time out? So sometimes I want to use this as an opportunity to look at different offenses and defenses, a strength and weakness of whatever I decide to pick. Today is, what is one strength and one weakness of the dribble drive offense in your opinion?
Oh, dribble drive. So strength. If you're a guard based team, and you can attack the rim, it's there's some hard rotations on that. I think that's his strength.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of it's a little bit of a dying thing right now, the dribble drive. I think people are putting the dribble drive into other things. No, I think it has some merits. It again depends on the team. So as far as a weakness goes, I see it as really hard to find 5 high school kids that can run the dribble drive effectively, or 4, and then the guy the block opposite. So I think that from a high school standpoint, I think that's what makes it hard. I think they can all dribble, but I think of somebody in our league that had a couple Division I guys and another great player, but then it was number 4, number 5 that caused the problem with the dribble drive. It wasn't those 3.
Right.
Those 3 could do it. So I think that's a weakness for that offense at this level. If you're a college coach and you're recruiting those kind of guys, I think it's much easier.
I would say the one thing I like is it does emphasize opportunities for 3-pointers. I think that is, we talked about how that is effective. You got to make shots. It's an offense that is built around you getting to the rim, which is huge, and then creating 3-pointers. But what I don't like about it is there's not a lot of off the ball movement, and I don't like the ball movement tends to be stagnated a lot of the time. I mean, ball movement passing is, it seems a lot of dribble and a lot of standing around. And I think sometimes you got to have 5 guys that can be able to run, which kind of similar to what you talked about as well.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And it will work. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can run anything and it will work if you have the right personnel for it. But
that's another topic we'll talk about later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. All right. Perfect. Next week, Coach.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you subscribe and leave a review. We really do appreciate those, and I read every one of them. Also, make sure you go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Prices are going to be going up. We just added some new courses. We're going to be changing our pricing. The free trial is going to be going away. So make sure you go over and check it out. And let me know if you have any questions. If you have any questions about anything, I'm here to serve and help you. So steve@teachhoops.com. But I would put our community against any other community out there. It is one-stop shopping for basketball coaches. All right. Have a great day.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.